Right. Hello, hello.
Live na tayo. Ayan, we're live.
Yeah,
What's
I
up,
see that
guys?
you guys got the. I can see you're on your phone, Christopher. You checking it out?
Yep, I'm sharing it as well.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. So everyone, hello, hello. Thanks for coming. Let's share the live. How about you, Tristan? Are you Do you watch simultaneously, or you keep it like?
I can't. Unfortunately, I can't.
Oh yeah, because
Kasi,
you're,
yeah, net
yeah,
problems.
yeah,
I have to use my phone as a hotspot, and then for it to work, I have to like perch it in like the top corner of my
yeah.
condo. So,
Hello, hello,
yeah.
everyone. Hey,
Kung
Nightwind.
nasa office
We
pa
can
tayo,
say
I can eh.
yeah. Christopher, we can say hi to peeps too if you just see someone in the audience who says what up.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
TFC. Yung Parang,
You guys, please do share.
Yes, please
Thank
share.
you for sharing.
Not only do we have what's definitely going to be quite
Thanks,
an
anyway.
insightful interview coming up, but we're giving away the Ben and Ben tickets, right? So super
Yay!
excited about that. We love to
yay, we're
share.
giving away 2 tickets now. You have to
That's true.
emphasize 2 tickets
Yeah.
to the
So
Ben and
we're gonna be
Ben.
giving away 2 tickets to the Ben and Ben show on Kumu Live on May 22. We're giving one halfway through the show, so you're gonna have to stick with us for about half an hour, and the next one towards the end. But also we are premiering Rappler's latest show on Kumu. Tristan, do you wanna share it?
Yeah, so tomorrow, same time, we're gonna be holding our first Laughter Talk Kumu Live. That's quite a mouthful, but basically Laughter Talk. It's our fun um podcast where we just talk
Yeah.
about anything under the sun, make jokes, make puns.
Inside the industry is just fun. We're not fun.
Yeah, ano kami?
I mean, we'll see, Christopher. You
Kumbaga,
better bring the
So I'm just still sharing to friends.
yes, yes. Actually, I'm sharing too. Um, hello, Sana
so paano
Earl.
if you just watch until the half of this, you only get the Ben part. If you finish
Not
it, you get the Ben and
There's no other bed. Yeah, just one
Yeah,
bed.
yeah.
some Ben.
I want the end. I'm really. Hey, Kyla. We got Kyla in the audience. What's up? Hello,
Can we say
hello.
friend of the pod? Friend of the pod, but
Yeah.
friend of the
Oh,
stream.
yay!
Hi,
Welcome.
guys. Hi,
Thank you.
Kyla. Thank you. Guys, please don't forget to share the stream. Come on, let's
Yeah.
go.
Si Kyla.
We'll get this talk show started in a few minutes, but definitely would like to see more people see more people check us out and stand a chance to win these Ben and Ben tickets for their show on May 22nd here on Kumu. So you'll get to win if you a
Finish it.
send over a question that you want to ask Christopher Starr. So you can just type any questions in addition to the questions Tristan and I will be asking. That's the first way. Or B, send us a VG. Who doesn't love a VG? So any halo halo will do. We are not picky. So
May
yeah,
bibing ka ba? Naisip ko lang,
Christopher
may bibing ka
Miranda.
bang DG? Kasi di
Used to
ba, Ben
be.
and Ben,
Used
bibing
to.
ka.
But there's
Seasonal
no
ba yan?
bibingka tonight. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, it's a
seasonal.
Christmas
Ah.
thing, Pawi. In the Philippines. We have bibingka Christmas.
I was the one who specifically asked if it was seasonal. Shout out to Amanda Pinay.
Hi, Ninang. What's up? Hi, Dan JB. Kamusta, guys? Please don't forget to share the live stream. Let's go.
Let's go! And if you haven't already, please follow Rappler on Kumu. We are still newbies to the platform, so be gentle. But follow Rappler, Rappler.com. That's Rappler DOTCOM spelled out. Hey Dan JB, thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks,
Yes, that's what I'm
Dan.
talking about. All right, you know what? Let's throw in the sharing the live also counts, right? For the Ben and Ben.
Yeah, parang the rules can be
Yeah,
flexible.
the rules are flexible. All
Yeah,
right,
sige.
we like to freestyle. Yes, yes. Get this going in a couple minutes. I'm sure Christopher over here has a lot of insights to share, and I'm sure everyone here is familiar with him. So he's gonna he's gonna show us the ropes
Yeah.
around
Siya
Kumu.
mag-interview sa amin, actually.
Uh,
Sila.
yeah, first question, Christopher. Where did you get your party lights? Yeah.
That's actually a soft box, ano. Tapos just
Ah,
a smart light, so I can control the light.
nice. Oh, I love those. It's like a
Yeah,
smart bulb.
yeah, a smart bulb. Yeah,
Okay lang ba na I
Sweet.
mention it na kanina tao, he said, uy, may lights Christopher. Tapos parang Christopher said, oo, kasi I stream eh.
Yeah,
Tapos
yeah.
parang, oo nga naman.
We're just like, damn,
Oo
damn, bro.
but I actually rarely
oo
use it.
nga
This is
naman.
like the first time I'm using it in a live. So
Yeah.
yeah, binyagan natin yung lights ko.
Yes. No, I love it. It's actually it's is this a Kumu thing? It's got to be a Kumu thing. Cuz I'd say like 80% of our guests have the party lights. You know what I mean, Tristan? It's always
Yeah.
like a purple, blue. It
Ano
makes a
siya,
whole lot of difference.
poblacion lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah. Eh, Tristan's got the cluttered genius background, you know. Books.
Yeah, actually nag-live selling ako. Pamain na lang.
Yeah.
Live selling
Yeah.
pala. Hi,
Yeah. So you know
Gian.
what? Hey everyone, we're gonna get
Pamain
this
na lang,
started
ganun.
soon, so please keep sharing the live and stand a chance to win Ben and Ben VIP tickets. I didn't stress that earlier. These are VIP tickets, meaning you actually get to interact with them. It's a quote unquote meet and greet. Um, yes, yes. So please, let's keep them viewers coming, and
You get to meet Ben and the rest.
yeah,
Now we have to mention rin.
yeah, man, I want. Well, anyway, because I'm like wondering, man, if I were in their band, sometimes I feel like when I have a icebreaker in parties, I have to explain. I have to be like, no, I'm really with Ben and Ben, uncredited, uncredited. All right, let's get this started in 1 minute. It's 8:09. I think 8:10 will be a good place to start. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, let's go.
All
G.
right, and just
Feeling ko many are waiting for those Ben and Ben tickets.
yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, keep the hearts coming, keep the VGs coming, and the shares. All right, we'll get this started in just a sec. All right, everyone. So just so we're clear, for everyone who's new to Rappler streams and especially inside the industry, we were actually the first stream on Rappler, right, Tristan?
Yeah. We
We
were
we were the
the, ano ba tawag?
icebreaker,
Guinea pigs.
guinea pigs, guinea pigs. We were like the awkward icebreaker. No, no, that was a fantastic episode. So for everyone who's new here to Inside the Industry, we are Rappler's dedicated career podcast under our hustle section. We come out every Monday on all podcast platforms. We've been around for over a year now, but ever since we came on to Kumu, we decided to give people a chance to basically see our show live as you are doing right now. And what that also does is it allows you to interact with us as you so regularly do here on Kumu. So if you have questions for your dear friend here, Christopher Starr, please send them over. That'll also put your username in a hat for our Ben and Ben VIP tickets giveaway. So yeah, and
And,
of course,
and
as
yung tawag,
always,
di ba?
send the VGs.
We're not just about work though. We're also about play. That's why we're giving away tickets and we're
That's
talking about fun
true.
stuff.
That's
We're a
true. The
fun
fun
pod.
stuff. The it's we have work and play, but what's universal is fun, right? Right, Christopher? Like the work is also the play.
Fun.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. All right. So guys, if we're ready to go, I'm gonna do our usual podcast intro that everyone hears on our podcast episode, and we'll kick off this interview. Sound good? Okay. So welcome, community. You're streaming Rappler on Kumu. This is Hustle Inside the Industry, where we talk to professionals and find out how they got here, why they're doing what they do, and what it takes to do it.
So, welcome, community. This is the live version of our podcast. So, if you like this app, all you have to do is just follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's Hustle Inside the Industry. So, remember, Hustle Inside the Industry. So, if you want to listen to this app, play it back. This is coming out on Monday, May 24. Again, that's Monday, May 24, next Monday. So, I think it's time for introductions, Fabi. So, I'm
Yes.
Tristan.
And I'm Pawi, and we're from Rappler's Hustle team. Joining us today, we have uh, a familiar name, I feel, to some folks in the audience, but more importantly, a very active figure in the burgeoning Philippine startup community. In fact, we first met him on Clubhouse and Kumu and all these other apps in specific groups with Filipino entrepreneurs. So, colliding with each other in all these different circles, I think we can confidently say that this person is truly a connector of the Filipino startup scene. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Christopher Starr. Welcome, Christopher.
Woo! Wow.
Hey, Christopher.
Kamusta?
Wala bang
How's
music?
everyone?
Entrance
Sarap
music,
pumunta sa
parang
town.
WWE lang.
Woo!
Pero
Yeah,
alam mo, Pao, what's interesting rin, it's like, Christopher in a way has been teased in the past episodes. He's been mentioned very,
it's
very
true.
MCU. So anyway, so Christopher, we gave you we gave you quite an introduction. Pero like in your own words, can you introduce yourself? Like tell us what you do.
Sure. Well, aside from being famous, joke lang.
You know, I'm
So what I
famous.
do
Great
right
start. Yes.
now, well, I'm a content creator, so I'm a live streamer, I'm a podcaster. I also create videos on different platforms, but my day job is a CMO of a global brand, and also aside from that, I'm a mentor for startups under Kubo, and also an admin of Startup PH, which is the largest community of startups and founders and investors in the country. So there.
Yeah, Startup PH has been around. I remember first joining the Facebook group it's like almost 10 years ago by now. That's like
Yeah,
OG.
it's
Yeah.
it's pretty old.
Awesome. So, for anyone who's just tuning in right now, just make sure to please share that live because we are going to be giving these Ben and Ben tickets away again. You just need to. We already have some questions coming in, which are great. We'll interweave those in our interview, so we have a smooth flow here. If you send questions, if you share the live, or if you send us VGs, please send us VGs. You stand a chance to win one of two Ben and Ben tickets, which we're giving away later.
VIP
But
tickets.
VIP, so you get to
Tickets,
interact
yeah.
with them. Boom.
With both
What does
bands.
that mean? Who knows? Anyway, going back to Christopher, let's get into your story now. How did you get started in startups?
Oh, that's an interesting question because I've been in digital space for maybe about 15 years or so. So I started when I was in college. Do the math. I'm not going to tell my age. But I would consider my startup journey starting from Lazada when I joined as a first employee. And I was a Facebook advertising uh, associate that time.
And then
And
from
that's
there, how did you? Because you're just like, man, you're just like everywhere, right? Because we also know that you were with Kumu back in its early stages. But um, let's continue more along the story towards how we got to this point.
Oh, okay. So since then, I've been only involved in startups. So I work for different startups, usually the ones that are expanding in multiple markets across Southeast Asia. So basically, the job after my first startup stint, I became a VP for regional marketing. So I immediately launch multiple startups across Southeast Asia and sometimes even beyond. And maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when I came back to Philippines after my stint in Malaysia, I started becoming active in the local community scene, and I started organizing events, and that's how I met Kumu founders like Roland. So I was Tech in Asia's community lead, and then I was active at Kubo. I volunteered to become a mentor. I was just really active because I started a digital marketing agency and I was focused on startups. And so my strategy to get clients was to go out there and just give value first. And since then, I've never really turned my back against startups.
Wow.
So parang I think what's really interesting about this story, it's that okay, given we know you've been part of many companies in the past, but like right now you're not part of like one startup, and it's like you're working with many entrepreneurs launching their own business. So it's like you occupy a unique space within the startup scene. So can you tell us like what makes it exciting for you to be working with all this number of entrepreneurs, startup founders, startupers?
So since I've launched a lot of startups in the past, what I've noticed is that I've pretty much used the same playbook in launching them. There's obviously some tweaks here and there. I've launched apps like dating apps to e-commerce to pretty much name it. I've done it like grocery app and stuff like that. So working with startup founders as a mentor for the country's incubator, how I benefit from it is actually I get to share my knowledge, but at the same time, I still continuously experience other problems that I have yet to experience myself. So for me, while they're learning from me, I'm also learning a lot from them. So I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah. No, no, that's crazy because yeah, we had to ask that question because obviously, man, like when you think startups, you think risk, right? And it's just so interesting how you say that you've found like somewhat of a consistency or at least a consistent strategy. And I wanted to take this opportunity to address an audience question. Um, RN256 Kumu was asking on the note of strategy, what's the best example of an effective startup business strategy to boost sales?
Okay. In terms of boosting sales, I would assume at least this is B2C because one thing you need to understand is B2B is entirely different business altogether. So majority of the ones I've handled in the past are B2C, so direct to consumers. So you're asking them to download an app or to buy a grocery from you. One thing you need to understand, a big difference between startups than traditional businesses is that because it's so new, a big part of your job, especially on advertising, is to educate them, because a lot of people don't know what it is. Right? For example, if you were to advertise Kumu, people don't know what live streaming is yet. They don't know what virtual gifts are. So a big chunk of your job really is to educate your consumers why download your app, as compared to traditional businesses where you're differentiating yourself because everyone already is familiar with a restaurant or a laundry shop, or a mall. It's all just about how different are you from the other mall or another business, right? But for startups, it's always about educating the market.
Perfect. And actually, right as you said that, we have Rexy over here who sent us a lechon. Hey Rexy,
Oh,
what's
hi,
going
Rexy.
on, man? Right?
Kamusta?
James Rumor sent us the diamond shower. Ah,
Oh, wow,
love it.
Roland, what's up? James, kamusta?
Yes, the
Woohoo!
gang is
I'm
Parang
here.
waiting
we're
for the
feeling a lot of love, no?
Malacanang.
Kasi it's
He's waiting for the Malacan.
I'm waiting for the
minsan I
Malacanang.
don't know if it's because we're having a good convo or the Ben and Ben tickets.
I
Oh
think
Again,
Roland
we're
man,
wants
giving
to
away
win
two
the
Ben
Ben
and
and
Ben
Ben.
VIP
yeah,
tickets.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
wow.
Roland, you're gonna have
I
to get
think
in line with everyone else. Wow,
Rexy might win.
Stressy. There you go. Okay, okay. I'm pretty sure our social team in the background is just entering
Baka
your
we can ask,
username once.
wait,
They're not gonna enter
baka we
multiple
can
of
ask
you.
Christopher
Uh
if tingin ba niyang effective strategy tong hinhype natin si Ben and Ben to build our customer base.
Oh, yeah,
Technically,
definitely.
Rapper is a startup.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go, go, Christopher.
Oh,
Please
oh,
share
oh,
your
definitely. Because
wisdom.
a lot of people already is a big fan of Ben and Ben. So that strategy is called piggybacking. So you're piggybacking from a popular brand.
Well, actually, um, on that exact same in that exact same vein, we got a huge boost in our followers last week when he had SB19.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Harry, what are you doing? Are we pitting the SB19 18s versus the
right,
Ben and
right.
Ben?
Come on, what are you called, Ben and Benners? Come on, Ben and Benners, show us what you got. We need more. So yeah, again, if you haven't already, please follow Rappler here on Kumu. at Rappler.com. It's Rappler spelled out DOTCOM. And especially because we're starting to roll out more shows, including our brand new show tomorrow. It premieres tomorrow, where it's also giving away two more Ben and Ben tickets. And it's also hosted by Tristan. Tristan, you want to share?
Yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna have our debut episode for Laughter Talk. So from the title, it's laughter. So it's basically a show filled with puns, with fun stuff. Parang word ko of the day is fun stuff, no? So I'll
Yeah.
be joined by two of my rapper colleagues, Michael Bueza and Chito de la Vega. So catch us same time, 8 o'clock on Kumu tomorrow.
Awesome. Awesome. So going back to Christopher's story, so we got a clear sense of your expertise, obviously, from the marketing world and just helping startups. But now, as you mentioned in your introduction, you're in this, I wouldn't say new phase, but your current phase is also your own personal brand as a content creator, right? We know that you're quite ubiquitous in all these online spaces. We mentioned all the apps we've bumped into you on. I would call you a social networking butterfly. That's just me.
Yeah.
But uh, I, why don't you comment more about it and tell us? My question on top of that is that a is that also a result of like the current situation of being locked down, or was it something that you were already uh, quite active in before?
Yeah. So as you guys know, I do marketing as my job. So part of my job is really to explore all these new channels. So in terms of becoming a content creator, that was kind of by accident because of COVID. Everyone's locked down. It's nothing to do. I also lost my job last year, right? I sold my business and I lost my jobs last year. So there's nothing to do but to live stream and create content online. But in terms of discovering Kumu, discovering other platforms and applications, that's because it's part of my job to actually understand these new platforms.
I did wanna quickly just follow up on that really quick. I do remember tuning into one of your clubhouse rooms before. You were talking about your experience with that startup that you mentioned before, which is a growing industry right now, which is cloud kitchens. I'm sure people are kind of like
Mm-hmm.
curious on the basics of it. And I remember you gave a really good lecture, if you will, on
Thanks.
like the difference of the different kinds of cloud kitchens. I don't know. I just maybe you want to just like quickly explain that for people, because
Para mga
and
cumulus,
if that's a growing
nimbus, ganun.
industry here.
So
Yeah.
cloud kitchen, there's also some people call it virtual kitchen or ghost kitchen. They're kind of the same, but in reality, there's so many different models. And cloud kitchen is a perfect example of a startup. A lot of people think that startups are just any business that's starting. That's not true. So a startup is more of an idea that you're looking for a repeatable, scalable business model. So a cloud kitchen is such because it's not proven yet. Despite that, we think that there's food delivery is obviously on the uptake right now, but still the business model is not proven. So what essentially it does is I would say it maximizes the efficiency of your operations. So how do you do that? Either by instead of renting an expensive location, you might share the kitchen with someone else, or probably create a big kitchen where you rent it out to others. And then at the same time, you can also create multiple virtual only brands or virtual restaurants, so that you can fully utilize your existing inventory of ingredients and then create 6, 7, 10, 70 brands if you want,
Yeah.
and capture different kinds of customers. So it's a very interesting model that has been around for quite some time. However, it was really popularized during the lockdown, and not just in the Philippines, but globally.
Yeah, actually, just to share, like I live in Poblacion, so, 'di ba, you know how Poblacion was like before. Na it's like it
Mhm.
became aside from the gimmick scene, it's like also a good place for good food. Kasi it's like tabi-tabing restaurants, and many of these
Yeah.
restaurants like they have their friends, their co-owners, ganyan. So I think like you mentioned, many are shifting to this model, and I think in Poblacion alone, like I've seen new brands sprout and then they're just actually pala ano, offshoots of the other
Yeah.
brands, and they're basically cloud kitchen. So in a way, the food scene here in Publishon is still alive. Yung nga lang, it's in a different
Mhm.
form. Yan. So
Yeah.
anyway, going back to your story, sorry, kasi it's ano baka nag-digress ako too much. So,
No, no
Christopher,
worries.
you said that being part of social networks, it's like part of your job. Pero I think what's unique with your story, it's like right now you're at the forefront. Like you're not just someone studying or dabbling it. You're actually a content creator who's known for being on the platform. So like example here in Kumu.
Yeah.
So baka you can tell us like how did you integrate Kumu into your like daily activities, daily operations, and like as a person from the startup scene, how's like the startup presence within this platform?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. How did I integrate myself to the app? Again, because of the pandemic, it was natural. But also before the pandemic, I met a lot of amazing people on the platform, and they became my friends. We met up even before the lockdown, so I kind of just continued the relationship, and even met a lot of amazing other people. Like uh, my newest employee, for example, new team member, I met here on Kumu, became a good friend. We created a group, and then we even are because I also have a podcast. So he's also my co-host there, and now he's working for me. I also have like a support group here. Shout out to Pamilya Sarangola, and also
Oh
other
yeah.
groups
So like
that, that
Avengers
are
Oh
natin.
man.
It's been mentioned in the past
We're
episodes.
we're collecting all of you. We're
Yeah.
assembling.
so yeah. But then aside from that, I don't know. It was just really natural for me. I'm not too sure because it was never my intention to like be at the forefront, or I don't even think I'm like that famous or anything. But I've definitely utilized Kumu to, I've done streams to talk about how to start a business, or validating your idea, and even did a pitching competition here on Kumu where about 10 startups have pitched, and we've selected three to win a scholarship, and
Wow.
I get a chance to get funding of up to $100,000. So, and then that group has done that again recently. So I'm seeing more and more startup founders and friends come over to Kumu and utilize the platform.
Okay, okay. So basically, we're actually, for those of you who are just tuning in late, um, what makes this episode special, besides having Christopher here giving us all these wonderful insights on the Philippine startup scene, we're giving away those Ben and Ben tickets for the Kumu Live on May 22, and we will give away our first ticket after this question. So if you want to enter your name in the hat, please send over a question to send for us to ask Christopher, or send us a VG or share the live. All right, that's how
Diba?
you
And
get your name
parang,
entered.
who knows, diba? Like, if you give enough VGs, baka masummon natin sila bigla. Parang Candyman. Ay, no,
Yeah,
they're
you'll
not
never know
appearing.
who appears backstage. Is it going to be
Yeah.
Ben
Wag natin
or
bigyan ng
Ben?
false promise.
um, but actually, I think Tristan and I can both relate to what you just said. I think we're actually, the three of us are very much alike. Uh, Tristan and I actually originally hail from advertising, right? And we're very much on like right, Tristan, in Rappler, we're also like very behind the scenes.
Mm,
We're in the background,
interesting.
yeah, and
Ah,
yet we're
hindi ko
also the
alam
ones
paano ako
here.
napunta dito eh.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, do you see that as like becoming, do you think that there's just like an overall trend for those who were once behind the scenes like us are all of a sudden starting to become more visible, and people actually, uh, audiences wanting to hear our stories? What did you say to
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I think right now, pretty much everyone is a creator. You can easily create content anytime, whether you go live, or you record a video, upload it on different platforms, take a picture, write a blog. Like anyone can create now. There's no question to that. I think what's different now is that most of us spend more time online, and I think that also means that it gives us more time to create as compared to previously we are more consumers. We consume other people's content. But now, because we spend so much time online, we can possibly just keep consuming. And that's why a lot of us are starting to create as well.
All right. I'm looking at Tristan. I think he is Tristan, you there? Okay. I
Yeah,
think we're
so,
drawing our first winners here.
Oh,
yeah.
here we
Siguro
go.
baka worth mentioning naman kasi nandiyan si Kyle. Si Kyle's our Kumu contact and actually you're our first winner pero syempre since you're part of Kumu, we had to so right
Yeah.
now we're
Well,
redrawing
because
it.
it's like
So,
it's not even that. It's like she's literally giving us the tickets. So
Yeah, ibabalik
you know
lang
what I
natin.
mean?
but do they have to be on the live if we announce their name and they're not on the live? Do we redraw again? Is that a thing? So they stay?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Paano ba?
I-
Anyway,
okay,
here,
okay,
let's
here we
see
go.
muna. Let's see. Pero sige, it would be nice if the person we're picking um makes
It's
his
still
presence
here.
known. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna mention our first name. So Pao, you wanna do a drum roll, mini drum roll?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like a machine
So
gun.
so our first winner of a Ben and Ben VIP ticket, it's Paul Temps. So that's PAULTEMPS.
Congrats. Are you
So
here?
Paul Temps, are you here? Come on
Are you
down.
here?
Pakigalaw yung
Please.
baso.
Pakinggan yung VG.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh no,
All
wala na siya.
temps,
Akin
are
na
you
lang yung ticket.
here? All
Wala.
temps.
Sino we...
Or if
Crush
he's
lang sa
French,
mga
Polton.
nandyan.
Polton. So what,
Let's
guys?
give him
Is
until
this?
end of the show na lang.
Are
Para
we
ano.
doing attendance required? Ah, sige, sige.
Yeah, let's do it
So like
until the
for
end
the
of the
second
show.
draw,
Yeah.
if he's not there for the second draw,
Yeah.
then we draw two.
Paul, you have to contact us kasi we have to give you passes. So if you're here, Paul
Yeah,
Temps,
yeah.
we
And
gotta give
Team
you those Ben
Kumu
Ben
will,
tickets.
yeah, and Team Kumu will be the one to send you. So as long as we have the username as well. To our Rappler team in the background, feel free to page Paul via chat as we continue
Or Temps,
this
maybe
interview.
Paul is his last name. Tapos first name ay
Yeah,
Temps.
Tom means time. Paul Tom. Okay, okay. So going back to the conversation right now, we mentioned earlier how active you are in the local scene and how many. I think you had a snippet earlier about you yourself putting time into startups that have kind of like a regional or international appeal or reach.
Mhm.
So, can you quickly tell us about a little more about the international scene, or at least the Southeast Asian scene? Because I'm sure you have a lot of insights on that. How would you say, from that perspective, is the overall state of the Philippine startup scene currently?
Okay. Well, there are a lot of startups in Southeast Asia. However, the region is so diverse. That's one. Like culturally, we're divided. Like geographically, we're away from each other. Language-wise, it's extremely difficult, and it's all very different. So some markets are considered more mature, which means that they have a lot of funding. The founders has a lot more experience. There's also a lot of talent, and some are very early stage or baby.
Yeah.
And Philippines is kind of growing up. I would say it's quite not it's not there yet, but we're also like getting there. And I think
If you said baby earlier, Christopher, what? Let's get specific. What is the startup age in
Toddler ba?
human development form? Yeah,
Toddler.
toddler ba tayo? Like, are we
Bagong
terrible
panganak.
twos?
yeah, so Philippines is definitely not a baby anymore, not a
Okay,
toddler. So
awesome.
it means that we're standing up on our own feet. We are somewhat walking, but we're not running yet. Unlike other countries like Singapore. But I think it's really exciting. I'm expecting within the next 3 to 5 years, we'll start seeing more and more startups. And
Nice.
startups like Kumu is actually very encouraging for also the other startup founders, because we get to see that there's a lot of interest towards Filipino startups now as compared to before, where a lot of founders would even incorporate outside of the Philippines to just try to attract investment. But
Yeah.
now, I've heard stories of Kumu having to need to decline other investors because they're oversubscribed. So that already shows that there's a lot of interest in the Filipino startups these days compared to a few years back.
That's
Can
very
can I pick
interesting,
your? Yeah.
Sorry, go.
No, no,
Go, pal.
Tristan, please,
That's
please.
saying, parang ano tayo, nahiya naman ako sa'yo kasi para sa'yo, magandang question eh. I was just gonna say, so basically,
No, no.
nandun tayo sa parang ano, going bulilit stage na pwede na siyang pag-investan, na pwede nang pasikatin.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, but it was kind of like I just all I wanted to do was also ask Chris, maybe like what's your theory kaya behind that? Like what's the wider like socioeconomic reason why we were a little stunted before and people wanting to go more international? Did you think that it was discouraged? Like why and what's the difference between then and now basically?
Oh my god, it's a lot. We'll probably have to talk for like hours to discuss everything. Because it's a lot of factors. And number one, on the government side, in terms of policy and all that, there's a lot of things that have changed over the last 5 years alone. Like ease of doing business is super super important, especially when you're looking into getting foreign investments. They definitely need to understand the structure, and it should be easy. And also, of course, politically, having a very stable political system is important, because you're investing in a startup and then suddenly the next day they're in a war or something. You don't want that. And then next is talent. I think in terms of talent, that's where we truly shine. Because in any startup that you can think of that are big names, there's always going to be a Filipino somewhere there, like an engineer or marketer or
Canva was that
yeah.
woman's name? Wow.
Oh yeah, her.
Melanie
There's always
Perkins.
yeah. She's
Diba?
a
Very trivia
hacky, I
game.
think. There's a lot of founders now that are Filipinos but are not necessarily considered Filipino startups. But I think in terms of talent, there's no doubt with that. However, I think in the past, a lot of these talent would prefer to go overseas and work for a startup, let's say in Singapore, because the pay is higher. Now that's changing because of the remote setup. A lot of these startups are realizing that I'm okay to pay the same amount, but I don't need this person to move to Singapore, but I'll pay him the same amount anyway. And then aside from that, investors, I think, are now slowly. I think the investors have always been interested in the Philippines, especially because we are the second largest population in the region. And we're English speakers, which means that it's easier for them to just bring in a concept from the States, for example, and then plug and play it to the Philippines, compared to, let's say, Indonesia or Thailand, where they need to translate and everything. And also, we're very westernized, so it's even easier for them. But they did not invest because, again, political reasons, policies. It's much difficult before as compared now. But now both public and private sectors are helping each other. Even the government is very open in helping startups. So my mentorship is actually under the government.
Wow. Which
Yeah.
Actually,
department?
So it's a public-private partnership between DTI, DOST, and DICT, and then with Idea Space. So as you can see, that's a really interesting concept as well, to hear a public-private partnership, because usually we hear that for infrastructure projects, but now
Wow,
even
that's
for
true.
our national incubator called Kubo, or spelled as QBO, is actually powered by the government and private sector.
parang I wanna unpack what you said kasi your answer, Christopher, it's very loaded, diba? It's like on one part you're seeing na um it's gonna be the effect of it's also in a way it's a byproduct of our current situation where right now it's not really location based kasi the future of work has been changed, and then on the other you have the questions that in of like this scene, this startup scene, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. And of course, there are many factors. And one you said nga is government support. Kasi even though if you build high, the foundation, the infrastructure, which of course the country provides, that's also something to really consider. So anyway, maybe you can share with us, Ren, like what are your other forecasts for the startup scene in the next few years, and then maybe how do you plan on getting involved? Because as you said, nga, right now you're not really connected to one startup, but you're a mentor. So how do you see your role also evolving in the next years?
Interesting question. Hmm. Very interesting. I actually haven't thought about that yet in terms of my role. I feel like I'll always be one of the cheerleaders of Filipino startups, helping them connect to different people that they need to connect to. So I'm usually the go-to guy if you need someone in other countries, and I'll be more than happy to connect you to them, or even in the Philippines if you need some help, like find the right person to hire, or investors. I'd be more than happy to connect you to them. I think that's going to continue. One very interesting conversation right now in the local startup scene is that everyone's trying to guess the next or the first unicorn. I'm not sure if you guys know what a unicorn is. Basically, a
Yes.
startup has a $1 billion valuation, and everyone's guessing who it will be, and Kumu is one of those
Yeah, I was gonna
candidates.
be like, I wonder.
So
Yeah,
yun, makatamang guess ba may Ben and Ben ticket? or, or we or we asking people to guess the comment section.
but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's gonna be in the media. It could be in fintech. These are the
Yeah.
Go
verticals
Rapper,
that I think
media startup.
it might. Yeah, Rappler might be also a candidate if it starts innovating further, because definitely Rappler is one of the innovators in this space.
Okay, Christopher, you're hired. All right, take us. No. This is amazing. It's highly encouraging to hear you say these things. And back to your personal journey. How about for you? Besides this mentorship and whatnot, um, what's next for you, basically?
Oh, I'm just starting myself again now. So one is that aside from my day job as a CMO of a global brand, I'm really enjoying my time as a content creator, as a live streamer here on Kumu, and creating content at other platforms. So I'm definitely going to continue doing that. On top of it, I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to start my own again anytime soon. But I'll definitely start. It's just a question of timing. I think this year, until probably the pandemic is over, I don't see myself building something of my own for now.
Um, we haven't if we've gotten any new viewers come in the past few minutes. Uh, this interview is winding down quite nicely. We'll probably keep going for another 10 to 15 minutes, but we are still giving away tickets. We still have two, unless Paul Temps, if you're
All
here.
temps, please. Pakigalaw ang baso, or else we're gonna have to give away your ticket, dude. So
Yes. So, but if you want to be eligible to get your username drawn for the from a hat, send us a VG. Send Christopher Starr a question. We're gonna be asking him some more questions that were sent in by you guys, or share the live. So with that, oh, also one more plug in. We're giving away more Ben and Ben tickets tomorrow too, with Rappler's latest show
Laughter
that's
Talk.
premiering on.
It's called Laughter Talk. That's gonna be with me, Michael Bueza, and Chita de la Vega. So Laughter Talk, it's basically our quote unquote comedy podcast. I don't know if it's really comedy kasi I don't think naman I'm super funny, but sabi nila comedy, funny daw kami. So we were given a podcast. So it's our debut tomorrow on Kumu. So catch us same time, 8 p.m.
Yes. And follow
Nice.
Rappler.com for that. As you can see, it's Rappler DOTCOM. Now going back to you, Christopher. We have a question here
Yeah. Siguro
from
ano, Now let's
Yeah.
contextualize. Because normally, Christopher, we actually end with you giving tips to
Mm.
aspiring like for this episode, like aspiring start uppers. I don't know what's a proper term, start uppers. But right now, since the people are very active, they are pointing the tips. They want to ask specific tips. So maybe you can start with the first question
Yes.
from Nang Haila. I don't know if I'm butchering your name, but can you give tips specifically for aspiring content creators?
Oh, just create and consistently create. Because a lot of creators, they create once and then they get discouraged when they don't get any views or shares, or they live stream and they don't talk to anyone and they get discouraged. Just consistently create. You don't build an empire overnight. And a lot of people that you think got lucky or got famous overnight, you're actually wrong. A lot of them have started way, way before. And of course, there are some people who get lucky, who tried it once and become popular, but that's very rare and you can expect to be like that. So if you want to be serious in content creation, just create content and be consistent, because the last thing you want to do is create content for that like straight 5 days. And after that, you'll be like, now that's like, I'll just stop. Don't do that. Just keep going.
Yay! Was that advice for us too? I think I
Yes.
think he was giving advice. I was like,
Well,
yeah, we
labas
could
tayo ng
do this.
labas sa episode. well,
Oh,
well, labas naman tayo labas kahit at times feeling natin we don't know what we're doing, but I guess it's working.
yeah, yeah. Now we're on Kumu, and now Tristan. You have two streams on Kumu now. Look at that.
Yeah, akalain mo yun, yung pinakautal sa Rappler. Anyway,
Hey man,
yeah.
the people wanted it, the people get it, and some people want these Ben and Ben tickets. We're gonna give those away soon, so just again keep them VGs coming. We have another question here, that I might have to decipher a bit. This one is also from RN256 Kumu. In Arn's words, how would you visualize the upcoming startups that will be establishing their own businesses? By that, I mean the potential of those startups in their own path of businesses.
Parang
I
feeling
Um,
ko the context is like, you know how Christopher you mentioned earlier na you're seeing cloud kitchens. Maybe they're also asking like how is the face of business in startups changing, or like how do you see them establishing in unique ways? I don't know, in the future, in the coming years.
Yeah. So in terms of ideas, I think timing is also very important, because like for example, Kumu blowing up. Obviously, it would have also eventually reached this size, but probably it would have taken them years compared to just months because of the pandemic. So timing is also important. However, the real success secret to any business or startup isn't just the opportunities you're willing to grab, but the ones who are grabbing those opportunities. Because even if Kumu got lucky because the pandemic happened, even that sounds bad, but it wouldn't have happened if the founders and the management didn't take advantage of the situation and really push hard, and even if things are not ready and things are falling apart, just keep going. I think that's one thing I learned to myself recently, is that resiliency is extremely important as a founder. So it's less on the idea, because you can always change and pivot some of these ideas. Like Kumu actually did not start as a live streaming app. I'm not sure if people actually know
yeah,
that. It started as a chat app, right? It's a competitor of all these messaging apps. So ideas are cheap. You can always think of an idea. But, again, it's just about taking advantage or grabbing opportunities. And that's what the founders did. They saw an opportunity elsewhere and they pivoted, and then they saw the next opportunity, and they grab on it again. So I think less on the idea. Don't focus too much on how can I build the next Kumu, right? It's more of what do I have? Like how can I improve myself so that I become ready as a founder? And same thing goes for if you're interested to be a content creator. You should focus more on yourself, because once the opportunity comes, you need to be ready. But then if you're waiting for that opportunity to come, that you're not creating content, then that's pointless.
Okay, I think oh, we have one more guest question that Tristan, if you want to ask that one, then we
Yeah, so
can move
basically,
on to our
Nang, sorry again if I'm butchering the name. Nang Haila asked. So I think it's a follow up. It's a follow up for the question she asked or he asked earlier. Like, so speaking of creative process, so what's
yeah.
yours when thinking of businesses, etc., creating content?
So, when it comes to content and so I've developed this framework called 10 C's of marketing, but eventually I realized it's applicable for like a business altogether. But I'll just share a few of it. So number one is context. It's important to understand the context. So I usually do a quick, pest analysis or pestle analysis if you're familiar with that. So it's understanding what's out there, right? Including your competitors. But most importantly, I guess, is obsessing on your customers or your audience if you're a content creator. It's really understanding who's watching, who's listening, who you're serving, and obsessing to that rather than obsessing on how do I become rich, how do I get funding, or how do I find the next big thing, or how do I become a unicorn. Instead of obsessing over those, you should probably obsess on your customers. And by obsessing, I mean like you know um, stalking them or something, like really understanding who they are and like what makes them happy, what makes them sad, and what are
Slide
they
sa
looking
DM
for.
sa baka
But yeah, like talking to potential customers or your audience, like
Yeah,
I
you
do
can
that a
do that
lot.
now.
I
Yeah.
do that a lot now. I ask people like, what's your feedback about my show? Like, what's your feedback about my startup? Try this out and let me know what you think. I think a lot of founders, that's also a common advice I give them, and I'm shocked when they're like, oh, things are not working, and then I'm like, have you actually asked your customers what's going on? And they're like, I haven't asked them. So like, why not ask them? Because I can't tell you, I'm not your customer, but they are. So they probably can give you a better answer as to why they're not clicking your ad, why they're not buying from you, why they're not sharing your live stream. You should ask them. Like, why are they not doing it?
I can, from that example you just painted, I can also tell like what kind of friend you are in your friend in your social circles. When people have problems, like, why didn't you just do that, whatever. But that's
real talk lang ganun. Real talk lang
yeah,
pare.
yeah,
Bakit
yeah.
ganun?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
heard that
me.
sassiness in your voice.
That's true though. Oh my god, don't expose me.
No, 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 but no, no, but I love it, and I think the takeaway, just to wrap up, at least this interview, is kind of the idea that at the end of the day, this is all just a conversation, right? Um, and like business and like the social aspect of business is, the relationship between the business owner and the customer, or in
Correct.
in the case of a B2B, a business owner and
Another
another
business.
business owner who's their customer.
Yeah.
But with that, Christopher, thanks so much for all the wisdom. Any last words that you didn't get to share that maybe might be beneficial to our listeners and viewers right now?
Yeah, I think if you are interested to learn more about, the insides of any industry, you guys should definitely follow Rappler.com here on Kumu
Yeah,
and also on Spotify and other platforms, diba? Because they would
yeah.
definitely learn a lot from your guest.
Thanks so much. Thanks so
That's
much
how you
for
do
that.
it.
And
That's how that's how you plug.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But we didn't tell you this, Christopher, but we were actually this was just all fake. We're not really live streaming. We just wanted a master class session with you. So thanks for
Yeah,
that.
actually, mga
So
viewers lahat yan Rappler employees.
oh man,
Like they take
this
notes.
was a simulation. No. But anyway, okay, so we're gonna move on now, as we always do, to our play of the week. Now we talked a lot about work. Now it's time to talk about play. Any fun activities or recommendations for our listeners to unwind from the busyness of business? Christopher, start us up.
Get a massage. I just had one today. Like, they're now
What?
open, so let's take advantage of it. It's a great way to just relax and just have that alone time. Get a massage. Like it would change your life.
What kind of massage? What kind of, like, what's your style of massages?
I had Swedish earlier and a back massage because my back was aching for a few weeks. But I'm not old, guys. I'm not old.
You seem fine. You seem fine. Thanks for hopping on board despite a backache. We know how how hassle is it. What about you, Tristan? What's your play of the week?
Me, parang, alam mo, it's a bit funny kasi, as you know, like last week, I actually even wrote about it as a spin-off of our play of the week. I said I haven't been watching shows kasi it's binging a show. It's like it takes too much of my bandwidth. So I'd rather just watch anthologies like Girl from Nowhere, Love, Death,
Oh,
Robots. Ano pa ba yung napanood ko? Signal from Signal Play, now streaming. So those are all anthologies and they're easy to watch, like one-offs. You don't have to sit through multiple episodes. Anyway, it's intro ko lang yun kasi this weekend I actually got to watch a show which I wanted to binge. So I saw Mayor of Easttown. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Okay.
It's on HBO. So it stars Kate Winslet. So basically, the way I describe it, it's true detective, but small town and everyone knows each other. So
Ooh.
para when you think about it, prestige piece, magiging ano to, slow burn, mahirap to watch. Pero it's actually quite funny. It's actually quite easy to watch kasi it's basically seeing a person try to investigate a crime in a place where the personal and the professional, they're inherently blurred kasi like, okay, magkakilala sila since childhood. So an old lady will call her kasi I want you to investigate something like that. So and then it's hard to actually pull up suspects kasi some of this like the parents kabatch mo ng high school. So you know like how the personal and the
Cool.
professional, it's so hard to pull them apart when you're working in a small town na you grew up in. So it's currently on its fifth episode. So it has two more episodes before it wraps up. So that so
What's it
again
on? Where are
that's
you watching it on?
it's on HBO Go, on HBO basically. So it's called Mayor of Easttown.
I was gonna
There
say,
we
Tristan,
go.
that reminds the way you describe it also reminds me a bit of Sharp Objects, which was another
Ah,
great HBO
yeah.
show.
Pero
Yeah.
yun parang siyang gothic, diba? That's like a southern gothic. This one, it's really more small town,
Mhm.
small town mystery, true detective, but lighter.
Cool.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
interesting.
basically, my kind of thing. Thanks for
yeah.
the rec. Okay. So my play of the week is also something you can watch. Um, It is the NBA playoffs. I'm just your average basketball fan, but specifically this season and this year is pretty exciting for me because both my teams have exciting playoff stories. So in the East Coast, we got the Knicks. Go Knicks, go New York Knicks. We finally made it. Which it's just been humorous over I don't know how long it's been since we've been in the playoffs, but it's gotten to the Knicks not having championships has gotten to the point that even movies like Pixar's Soul are like making jokes about it. So that's in the East Coast, and in the West Coast, which is very interesting, happening tomorrow. As of this recording, is the first play-in game. So so basically, they did things differently this season, where there's basically a last chance for teams to make it to those last spots in the playoffs, and if someone fell asleep on a rock for the past year and you told them what is going on tomorrow, which was basically the Lakers are playing the Warriors for like one of those last spots, you'd be like, what? LeBron and Steph Curry are like, scrambling for breadcrumbs. But anyway, it should be exciting. It should be even just as exciting as any final. So I'm pretty pumped. I'm sure everyone already watching and listening to this is already aware of it. But yeah, it just it's sports and a bit of drama at the same time.
So literal na play, no? Play of the week.
Oh, yeah. I was like, man, we don't do too much of that. Look at this. Christopher Starr. Oh, shout out to Miss Gaiden on
Hi,
the
Miss Gaiden.
stream.
Yeah, that's how I was waving.
No, we
Just
had
our entered.
well anyway,
Was part of
a lot of
phase
friends
one
popping up.
of Inside the Industry.
Yeah, the Avengers are coming together. Pamilya Saranggola, right? There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Also, thanks for the. So we just got a message here. Rappler will be live blogging the game tomorrow. So if you wanna if you're working as you should be at that time in the morning, if you have a job, you could always just follow
Leave,
Rappler
leave,
Sports.
Philo, leave.
Yeah, and follow Rappler Sports on Twitter to get live game updates. But anyway, we're not gonna keep you guys waiting any longer. As we promised, we gotta give away these Ben and Ben tickets, yo.
So,
Woo!
Right?
Paul Temps, it's your last chance. Like the NBA playoffs na sabi ni Pawi. Last chance. So,
Last
Paul
chance
Temps,
for
it's your
Paul
last
Nah,
Temps.
play
chance to
in.
get
It's called a
into
play
that.
in.
It's your last chance for the play-in. Sorry, nahalata ba na I'm not a basketball person. So, anyway, Paul Temps, it's your last chance to get into that spot for the Ben and Ben VIP tickets. Nandiyan ka ba? Send us
Shout
a
out to Michael
message.
John. So yes, Paul Temps. Let's give. You guys want to do a countdown? Let's do a count. Let's
Three,
see how
two, one. Okay,
synchronized.
gone.
Ano? Ano?
3, 2, 1. Okay, gone.
Okay, you know what?
And it's gone. And it's gone.
That was it.
It's gone.
It's gone. All right. So basically, two. We're giving away two Ben and Ben tickets. You better be here to redeem. You better say hi to us. So Rappler team, can we please draw these two names for these two Ben and Ben VIP tickets, which will allow the winners to actually meet and greet Ben and Ben through Kumu on May 22. Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
Here we
mom.
go.
The draw ka, but can't,
Oh,
you're not eligible.
hi Tita. Okay, okay. We're
Yeah.
still drawing, everyone. We're still drawing here.
He can't win. He's the CEO.
Yeah.
Bakit?
Roland can't win. He's the
We're
CEO.
getting names that of the people who are giving us the tickets. So it has to be other people.
Si
Keep sending
Kyler
guys.
Two
Roland, you
more,
can't.
two tickets up for grabs. At this point, guys, I'm wondering if Paul Temps ever existed. You know what I mean?
He's
We'll see.
tempo ito.
All right, Tristan,
Oh,
here we go. Who we got?
So, first winner, it's I'm Gian Morin underscore
yeah,
LPT.
Gian.
I'm
Gian, are
Gian
you here?
Morin underscore
Are you
LPT. Are you
there,
here?
Gian Marin? Please.
Gian.
What should he
Oh, I
do?
guess he's not
Is he
here.
here? Hala.
Press 1 for everyone.
Does our do our viewers know him?
So yeah, then let's draw
As
first
long
our
as you
second
can
name.
confirm he is.
Hi,
Okay,
Pat.
okay, sige, sige.
If
Second name
Gian
lang muna.
doesn't let his presence be known, we're gonna give away his ticket trend. So let's draw
Countdown.
our
3, 2,
second
1.
name.
Ayan. Man, you're savage. I'm telling you, I can tell what kind of friend Christopher Starr is. He's a savage one. He's a savage one.
James also
Ayan,
can't
ayan.
win. He's also
All
the
right, here
head
we
of
go. Here we go. We
community.
have our second name here,
Wait,
James Rumor.
J-
James
James.
is James the head of community of Kumu. He can't
Aw,
win.
James.
You know what we can do
Dapat-
here? What we can do here is we can ask all of them to press 1. Kung sino yung nandito pa, press 1. And then we can choose if
Ooh.
they're also on our list. Then we can choose only
Wait,
from
wait.
this list.
No, wait,
Diba?
wait, hold on. I was gonna agree, but we. Oh, okay, okay.
No,
Sige, sige.
they're just gonna press 1.
Oh,
So
okay,
we
okay.
know that they're
Press
here.
one so we know that
Sige.
you guys are
And then when we
here.
draw, we'll draw it pa rin from the whatever.
Okay,
I don't
that's
know where
Yeah,
we're
fine.
drawing
sige.
it from. Just so we know they're here. Ayan, nandito si Arn, Miss Gaiden, Mickey Boy, Pinatibok, Michael John. Guys, make sure nag-send kayo ng virtual gifts or questions. Kaya din ako nagigigil ako sa
Nang
inyo.
Hyla. Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
Ayan, you can now then draw
Michael
the,
John.
nag-send ako, sabi niya. Ayan na, ngayon pa kayo nagsisend.
Ayan.
Ayan. Oh, Tristan,
Yan.
do it.
Yes.
Well, he's been asking questions kanina. So,
Yes.
ito yun na eh. Parang you put in the time, you put in the earner stripes, and then he got rewarded. So
Shout
for
out to
our
Jay
winner,
Sam.
it's Arn256 Kumu. That's
Ah.
AARN256 KMU. So are you here? You get to ask
Aaron,
the
Yeah.
questions, and now
congrats.
you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Aaron. I always believed in you ever since our childhood. Okay, so
Hi,
before
MC.
Yeah,
okay,
one
so
One
more.
our
more.
social
Guys,
team
we
is
have
Wait,
one
asking.
more.
si Gian ba? Wala dito? Wala na si Gian,
Yeah,
no?
yeah. Wait. Last
And
page, last pages. So, well, no, we already fall temps not canceled, but fall temps you're out. Gian is Gian here. I'm Gian Marin
so you're
underscore.
Gian Marine?
LT. I
Uh,
won. I won.
they're not
Okay.
here. Okay,
No,
one
it
more.
looks like they're not here, Christopher. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
I didn't see Miss Guy. Miss Guy.
Huwag niyo
Anyway.
tawagin.
Oh,
we now have a
okay.
second
Tristan, we
winner.
got a
Mhm.
name. Is it Christopher?
Yeah,
Is that a good name?
you wanna
I
you,
mean,
you wanna do it, Tawi?
is this? Sorry, just double checking. We have our name. Is this name clear? Christopher.
Is this a person
Mhm.
giving us our tickets? Baka-
I don't think that person is in the stream though.
okay.
Oh,
Guys, press one
Anyway, let's
if you're
let's
still here so we can see.
let's announce pa rin. Baka lang nandyan siya. Is Iris Joy Bruto watching right now? Because you won
Irish.
Ben and Ben VIP
Irish.
tickets.
Irish.
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 Malakas
Pagalawin
ka
mo
no.
pa
ang
kanina.
stream.
Okay. So we can still. Okay, let's just
Okay.
draw from these names. K. Rappler team. Same names as earlier. Our
Ayan, mer-
oneers.
Okay. There we go. There we go. We have a
there's
name.
a new
Okay.
name.
So Pat Alvin. That's
Woohoo! Sir Pat.
PATALVIN. Are you here?
Yay! Are you
PH
Are
here? I
Gang.
you
know you're
here?
here. We
Just
know
Sir
you're
won
Pat.
a
here.
ticket to Ben and
Pat
Ben
Oh, di
Alvin.
sana kung
live.
umalis ka bigla. Naku,
Oh my
nanggigigil ako
gosh,
sa'yo, Sir
Pat
Pat.
Alvin. Where
Sir
you
Pat!
at?
Asan ka? You were just... Ay,
Ayan,
nandito
okay,
ka!
just join. Pat Alvin, you won. Pat Alvin, you won the
Congratulations!
Congrats.
buzzer
So
beater.
again, let's congratulate the winners of the Ben and Ben tickets.
Yay!
Arn two five
Congrats!
six Kumu. That's AARN 256 KMU, and Pat Alvin, spelled
Yes,
as you pronounce it.
yes.
Yeah, please
So,
Congrats!
DM
yes. Go ahead,
our
Tristan.
Rappler Kumu account so we can coordinate and give you those tickets, those Ben and
So
Ben
people are
tickets.
asking, meron pa ba? And the answer is yes, but tomorrow night, di ba?
Yes, Tristan.
Yes,
Plug that in.
Here you
yes.
go.
Again, tomorrow we're debuting our first episode of our live Laughter Talk. So again, it's our quote unquote comedy podcast where we just talk about anything under the sun. So that's hosted by me and Michael Bueza and Chito de la Vega. So again, that's 8 p.m. tomorrow here on Kumu.
We'll see you there,
So
everyone. Okay, thanks. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for coaching us, Coach Christopher.
ito pala yung mentorship. Ito pala yung Christopher's
Okay. Yeah. So
mentorship.
yeah. So here, if you want to apply for, but actually, without further ado, Christopher Starr, last plugs. How can people check you out, check out your work and your programs? Let our audience know.
Yeah, so I'm definitely here on Kumu. So if you guys want to follow me, please do follow me here on Kumu and also on all social media accounts. Just search Christopher Starr. Um, it's I'm everywhere, so you'll find me there. And I also have a podcast if you guys want to check it out. It's called
Yes,
Under
plug
the
it.
Influence. It's on Spotify and other podcast platforms. Do follow it. It's all about content creators and the business of social media. So whether you're a brand trying to understand how content creators work, and or you are an aspiring content creator or social media influencer that's just starting, you could probably learn from me, Addy Cuts, and Jay Miranda. So there.
What's the name again?
Awesome.
What's the name again, Christopher? Just one last time. What's the name of your podcast so we can plug it in?
Under the Influence.
There we
Got
go.
it.
Under the Influence.
All right. So thanks so much, Christopher. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for inviting
And
me.
thank you out there for listening. As always, if you haven't already, please stay tuned to Hustle Inside the Industry on all podcast platforms, including Spotify and Apple, where you can leave us a rating. And also, you can catch us on Kumu every other week by following Rappler.com, Rappler DOTCOM. Most of all, don't forget to hit that follow button. Thanks. That's it, guys.
Thanks again. Congrats
Bye.
to Arn
Bye, everyone. Bye,
and
Kumu.
Pat Alvin.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Oo.